We have a bit of a problem here. As you can see, we have so many chests full of just absolute junk and whatnot. I've sort of got it a little sorted, but it's really making this build far too cramped. We can't get a good interior in here with all of this stuff. And we also just have random chests littered around our city. We've got a couple there, we've got some over here, and even a couple in the actual city area as well. So we need to fix that, but to do that we need somewhere where we can actually put the chests and sort everything that we need just manually for now. And I'm thinking this build here is large enough for it. We've already got the resources gathered for it. So let's get this build underway. Well, we've completed this storage build. It's the second largest build we've done in the city. Obviously, the largest is the church over there, but it's got enough room on the inside where we can separate the items into different categories. We've got some room here, and we can probably get some here. It's not going to look the prettiest, but it's temporary, but also not as temporary as what we've got so far. Eventually we might have like a ladder or something down to maybe a bunch of storage systems, although I don't know if I want to have them at spawn because they would create a whole lot of lag, but they might be still just better for us if they're nearby, because I do want to basically everything that can be sorted I want sorted. So we're going to now gather ourselves a bunch of chests and set up some sort of categories for like some basic general ones like wood stuff and stone and maybe like valuables and whatnot. So we just want to get enough spare chests. I don't want to have to craft more if I can help it. But this is just going to make things so much easier for us instead of having to do the whole look through a million chests, especially with like more miscellaneous stuff. We'll still have like some miscellaneous like items like what say name tags or fire charge might be like in a miscellaneous chest just because there's not a good easy category I could put them in. So I think we're just going to turn these into some more chests. I think 21 should be good. We also want some signs. I think, what kind of signs do we want? I think maybe make them some spruce signs. Let's see, we can give ourselves a couple more. So that should that'll give us 9. So 9 signs we can turn into categories. So we'll get these put down and sort of give the categories to them, and then we can move our items in. All right, I've placed down some chests and given them some categories. I'm definitely missing some and I'll add them as we're moving, but we've got wood, stone, plant stuff, ends and nether blocks, and then valuables over there. So first of all, we'll go out here and so we'll grab some the plant stuff first. So that's moss, seeds, and azalea stuff. So we'll just grab all of these. Our inventory is full. We'll keep those open for now. We might as well also put our signs in there for now. So we sort of will try and make sure that like if everything's sort of as compact as possible. Obviously we don't have shulker boxes yet. We could get them, but I sort of want to hold off on the end again for a bit and just have a bit of change of scenery in the over. Sorry, not a change of scenery, because we only spent like maybe 10 minutes in the end fighting that dragon last episode. It didn't take us that long. So, but either way, that's we're not going to go there for a couple episodes, I think. Just because I still want to kind of enjoy this early mid-game. Well, I guess it's more mid-game, but I want to sort of just enjoy it a little bit more before we get the Elytra and whatnot. So let's see. That's the last of the plants in there. And if I know there's a fair bit over here. But I can't express how much I can't English. I can't express how much I can't wait for us to be a lot more organized. It's going to make building so much quicker, so much better. It's going to just help us really do well in this world, set us up for success, which is something in past worlds where I've not been as organized. It's been very easy to just procrastinate and not do anything. So we'll grab the last of our stuff and dump them in these chests. And if we need any more categories, we will do that. Well, it's pretty empty now in here. There's these things which I think I'm going to just get rid of all of these rods and bows. And even the saddles. Saddles we can craft and we don't really need too many. I think the books I might go through and just find the good ones, and then the other ones I'll get rid of. But every other chest that's outside is now gone, which I think there's actually a couple underneath this terrain. If we free cam over here, yeah, there's a few there. I don't think I'm going to deal with those at all, because they're just for when we tear out some more dirt if we need it for anything. Also, that chest over there's got stuff for another build. That's a bit of a teaser for later on in this episode. But if we go in here, we've got a fair few more. We've got the miscellaneous stuff. Valuables, obviously we saw valuables, wood, stone, and plants, as well as end and nether we had. But we've also added earthy blocks. So that's like your dirts and whatnot. Animal drops, some like color blocks. So that's glass, terracotta, wool, dyes. Mob drops, so that's your monster stuff. And then, again, valuables. Said that already. But we just got to dump some of the stuff. We'll probably leave some of these workstation blocks out. Obviously, this build isn't going to be the prettiest on the inside for a fair while. Not until we establish a proper setup for an automatic storage system. But let's see, where can I put these tools? I'll just leave them in the miscellaneous. We can deal with them in the future. But that's pretty much everything sorted. So that's this build pretty much done. Again, we've got this one, which we've got our stuff in there. That's a little bit of a teaser for you. But I'm just going to go do a quick scan around our areas. Just make sure I haven't missed anything. We can move them. I might also add an underground area for storage in this building in the future if we need to. I think because it doesn't look the best, but it doesn't really matter too much. But even like with just one build, I think this view's not as complete, but this view here really does work better. Obviously we've got another build. I actually don't know what I'm going to put there, but it's starting to really come together, this city. Like, we worked on this exterior a couple episodes ago, and it makes this look so much better. Like, this build in particular works as a bit of like a center point for this. So if we go back here, I really do like it. I didn't really take enough time when we did all these builds to really appreciate them and how they look, but they do look really nice. So I'm just going to do a quick scan. I don't think there's anything down there. Oh, actually, there is the monster stuff, but I'm not going to go and waste time there. I think it's... Also, we got to clear that up again. I've messed that up again, of course. Well, I should have brought my flint and steel, to be honest. We're going to now go through these. Let's see. Channeling, that's worth keeping. No, let's see. Anything decent? Lunge 3, I think, is the max. So we might as well keep that if we want a spear. Keep that. See, density, I don't know. I'm breaking, I might as well keep that one. I'm just gonna scan through any enchants that I know I use. We might as well keep. So, gonna keep going. Another unbreaking. Silk touch. Another channeling. Lunge 3 as well. Multi-shot. Okay, that's all of these. So we're going to... I'm just going to do this thing. I'm going to... Now, that's going to be annoying trying to get just the chest. So we're going to have to keep throwing these and hopefully don't throw the chest when it pops in our inventory. So we're just going to keep on throwing... There we go, there's our chest, so we can now collect the chest. We're going to let all of this despawn. And we've just got our bed. We'll leave the bed there. The brewing stand we're going to keep because it's fully charged. Once it's depleted, we're just going to move it. But we've got everything from this building, so it's ready for an interior. All of these buildings are waiting for an interior. I just need to design them, but we're going to go up here. Now, I don't know which way is quicker, going around this way or around that way to get to our storage area. They're probably about the same. But we also need to finish off this. We're still waiting on the candles. I haven't been going down to the bees too often. I'll probably work on that. But once we've dumped these stuff in our storage system, we're going to get a start on the next build, which is going to be not an automatic sugarcane farm, just a manual one. But we need sugarcane because for when we do go and finally get the elytra, we're going to need to be able to make ourselves some rockets. We've got a bit of gunpowder. That'll get us, see, about a little more than a stack and a half total. So we're just going to dump those there. And now we're going to get a start on our other build out there. Well, the build is done from the outside. I'm probably going to add some more details, maybe some cracked and potentially mossy stone bricks, but on the inside, we have got our sand patches. So we're going to place our sugarcane. We're going to get 88 sugarcane per harvest, assuming they're all fully grown, which is a little over, not quite a stack and a half, but still a fair amount. So we're going to let these grow. Also, yep, I'm probably going to add in just a couple torches there, just so it doesn't get too dark. I don't think anything can spawn in here. No, that's good. We're going to now head out, and we can also now make use of our storage area again. We can just dump our stuff in. It's so nice being a lot more organized. Although at the moment it does take more time than just dumping things in a chest at random, but it works. But yeah, that's that done. I think we'll probably, I want to get mending on the remaining armor pieces. I think we're missing it. We just need 3 more. Some phantoms. I think we've got one mending book in here. If I look, I believe I've got it somewhere in here. Yep, one mending book. We don't quite have enough emeralds. Let's see. Do we have... So we have some stone, some granite, not enough diorite. Hopefully we can get enough emeralds to trade for a mending... I'm so tempted to just disable phantoms on this world. I do it on other worlds that I've got. I just have them enabled until I do the end, then disable them because I never need what they've got. But alright, we can get one more mending book. Actually, we've got clay. Why don't I just grab that? So we'll go grab ourselves some clay. Avoid these phantoms. Also, city's really starting to look good again. I've said that about 1,000,000 times. I think this, not just this episode, but in previous ones, really goes to show, even if you're not the best builder, you can still make something that looks good. Because I've never really considered myself to be much of a builder. What I've been doing now is sort of like, I sort of look up different block palettes and then try and get them. Like if you actually look at the shape of the buildings, they're all like either rectangles or an L shape. I never try and do anything more complicated than that. Simply because it takes a lot of time to get things to look right. So that's why a lot of the roofs look very similar. Like this build and like this build are like almost identical, although this one is just a rectangle. So half a stack of, anyway, I'm going on it. Half a stack of emeralds. That'll get us 2 things. Let's see. I'm never going to use that. I don't think I got a grindstone here though, unfortunately. Otherwise I'd just get rid of the enchantment on that, but we should have, I know I've got paper, but who cares? Those phantoms are so loud. I'm just gonna ignore them. Let's go trade with our mending guy. We gotta also eventually name these villages, but that's something that I might just like go to a random name generator or something. Unless anyone's got any recommendations, if you have, leave them in the comments. It'd be greatly appreciated. Also for the horses too would be nice. Anyway, let's take off these 3 bits of armor. Also realize we're gonna need a mending and unbreaking for our elytra when we eventually get one. But our armor is fully enchanted. So I'm going to head down and I'm going to repair them. As I'm repairing them, I might come up with one last thing we can do this episode. So let's go and repair. Now, we're down here. We've repaired all our tools and armor. But what I've realized is we're a little cramped in here. I've disabled our skeleton spawner with a couple torches. You might be able to see. Yeah, you can see I've just put a couple torches in there just so nothing will spawn. But we need to just dig out a fairly large area so we can start to decorate, get proper storage in for what we've got so that we can separate everything, so we can have the bones by themselves, the arrows by themselves, and then all of these unstackables can go in a couple chests before eventually, if there's an overflow, they just get destroyed. So we're going to have to dig out this area first. It's going to be quite a large area. And then we can actually get a start on decorating. So we'll be right back once this is all dug out. Now that we've got this area dug out, you can see that it's going to be a fairly large sort of room that we're going to build here. We're going to have walls and roofs, so these caves aren't going to be exposed. And this pathway down, it's going to move. We're going to move it over to where this is. This area here will be a staircase down. Then I think our enchanting setup will be in this sort of area here. And as you can see, I've blocked off the spawner blocked the water anyway, because if we look up, you can see we've got these sort of 2+ shaped areas that are connected together. And they're going to be a water column will go up and then it'll drop the skeletons back down, where we can then swipe at them with a sword. And it'll one-shot most of them. The ones with armor will be left on a couple health, but even the ones without armor will be left to 1 hit point. We're going to have a sorting area, and I think down here there's an area where we'll... Oh, alright. Let's just finish the job. There'll be some lava there'll be a system that will just throw any overflow items into the lava. But we need to first gather enough resources. I think iron for hoppers is going to be the one that's going to be the biggest pain to do. That might require some mining over in our iron mine, which will be good because it'll also get us some stone. We did get a fair bit of deep slate. It's all up in our storage area. We had to make a couple trips up there just to empty our inventory. We also got a fair amount of diamonds as well. They're also up there. But we'll be back here with all the resources we need to actually get a start on building our little AFK room, as well as the storage and enchanting setup down here. We've now got everything we need for our area under here. And we're going to, as you can see, there's a couple blocks we took out. We're going to add an on-off switch for this farm. That way, the skeletons aren't always going to be spawning and making noise and annoying us when we're doing other stuff like enchanting and whatnot down here. So we're just going to get this built in. I'm not going to time-lapse it this time. It's not going to make the best time-lapse, I don't think. So we're just going to get it in, and once it's in, we'll be right back. And we'll also then have to work on this thing here, just so we have a proper way down. Well, the skeleton spawner is almost done. That's the drop area. We just got to place our water there. It'll both flow this way and down here, where we can then place down our kelp, grow it all the way up, which will turn this all into water source blocks. So then we can go back down here, break this kelp. We should be sent all the way up. The kelp will go down here. It'll be picked up by the hopper, and it will make its way to this chest, I believe. Should get there eventually. It might take its time, just because it has to go through the sorting system, unless there's something gone wrong. Which, oh, I know what's happened. We haven't actually put in the items for the storage filters, so it'll, yeah, it's gone straight in. So we're gonna have to go and dig our way down to just under here, because I haven't removed these. So we'll just need some bones and some arrows, just so we can fill in the storage area. So we'll have, also these here are named, so we'll need to just leave a couple spare for there and there, and then same here. So we put those in, and then we can get out. So we'll need to break these two just so we can get back up. Then we had these. Oh, whoops, we don't want that. But as you can see, it's pretty much done. We've got our on-off switch. So if we flick that up, it'll turn the lights off. It would help if we had removed the torches so that it would actually work. So let's just remove those torches and get out. Now if we flick it off, you can see skeletons will spawn. They'll come down here. They'll be right where we can hit them. We can enchant here. We've got overflow storage. Why is this stuff not coming in? It's not how it should work. Things should be coming in here. I'm gonna have to look into why. Because like if we put a bucket in, it should show up in there. Yeah, so maybe I just picked up the torches or something, I don't know. But yeah, these is done. If we go into free cam, if it overflows, it'll be taken to this sort of setup here, which will detect when there's something in this dropper, which then will cause it to fire into the lava. So if we have an overflow of anything, it'll just go straight into there. But I think also we need to work on this, because currently our only way down is here. So this is something we're going to work on there. We've got our switch. We can also just hit these, and it's a one hit instead of the 2 or 3 hits it took us in the past. But yeah, that's this thing done. We'll work on the staircase between episodes. But that's going to do us for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.